remember his
the
name.
Guinness World Record holder for?
I don't know. I don't speak Japanese.
No, but I'm just like, it's
Really?
so good.
I don't know.
It's like part of the advertising.
That's such a the way you've put it there too, Jono. It's just like such a great. Yeah, this is the product I'm promoting.
Yeah.
This is your brand? It's like,
I wish.
I just launched the brand. I just launched a drinks
I
brand.
think if I was an athlete, I'd love to be sponsored by it.
Welcome everybody to the Chip Lunch podcast. Best intro ever.
Singing intro now.
Welcome.
Well, everyone's gone. Now,
Sick jingle.
Welcome back to the Chip Lunch podcast. My name is Joel. I'm joined here by regular co-host Brayden. Hello.
hello.
Hello, and an irregular guest, Jono. Hi, Jono. How are you?
Hello.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's good.
Waratah's hat on.
Yeah.
Is that a Fiji rugby shirt on
Yeah,
as well?
Fiji
so
Jura.
big rugby.
Yeah.
What does Jura mean? Is that like?
I'm not quite sure.
Is that like a Waratah for New South Wales
I
Waratahs?
mean, it's more like a boat. See, it's like. Can you see how it's a boat?
Oh, so they sail in a in a Jura?
I think so. I'm
Oh,
not quite sure.
okay.
But the newish team to Super Rugby.
Oh, that's what they're called,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah. So yeah, they probably are Fijian boats. Saying, welcome to the Chip Lunch podcast. Are you you've brought yourself a drink?
Yep.
This is a green tea,
Mm-hmm.
right? And do you partake in that regularly?
Every once in a while.
Where do you get that?
I dabble
You
in
dabble in it. Where do you get that from?
it. Asian groceries stores.
Where is there an Asian grocery near us? I need to find one.
Miranda.
Oh, Miranda?
Yeah.
Really?
On the same street that where the service New South Wales is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Kiora Road?
I think so.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
I think
the
that's what it
roads.
is.
I don't even know.
Roads.
I didn't
We'll
even
go
know the
with
roads in Engadine, so I don't know the roads in Miranda. So,
Cool. So this is a regular green tea drink that you like to partake in.
yeah.
Why do you like green tea?
Uh,
Because I'm going to ask you another food-based question after this.
for me, it makes me feel relaxed when I drink it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It has a slow onset of caffeine rather than like a massive hit.
Bunch of punch,
Yeah,
like a coffee.
It's just you kind of ease into it.
Yeah,
which
right.
I like.
Okay, cool.
I love the taste of ground. Delicious dirt.
Should try matcha, bro.
Oh, I love that as well.
I've had matcha before.
I like
that matcha's
matcha.
great.
It's all right,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, first question. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
How do you like to eat your hot chips?
Oh, bit controversial.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't mind me a bit of malt vinegar.
Oh, yes.
I love me. Yeah.
Is your mum's influence?
Yeah, my mum's influence.
Yep. So malt vinegar.
Yeah.
First, can we what is malt vinegar? What is the difference between malt vinegar and just vinegar? It's got malt in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I
don't know
Wrong
what-
with the computer, bro.
Wait, what is-
I don't really know. I just love salt and vinegar chips,
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yes.
and so
What is malt? That's what I'm
malt's a type of I think it's a type of grain.
A germinated cereal
Yeah.
grain.
Yeah.
Correct. You were right. And it's been
Because of-
dried in a process called malting.
Yeah.
There you go. So malted vinegar. Anything else on the chips?
Just
Like
salt.
salt? Just salt,
Yeah.
no sauce.
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe some gravy.
Ooh. So with vinegar.
No. Like
Just-
it's
just have gravy.
Yeah, it's straight gravy.
Yep.
And or malt vinegar.
Right.
Yeah.
And did I hear that's plain salt?
Yeah. plain
Yes!
salt.
That's not a win, bro. He went vinegar over salt. What are you talking
Doesn't
about?
matter. You still have normal salt. You don't go chicken salt.
I hate chicken salt.
that's
Yes,
that's
Jono.
half at
Just
best.
strange.
Oh. I thought we were getting off on such a good start.
You know he doesn't like chicken salt, right? Oh, he likes chicken salt. He doesn't like normal salt.
No, look, I'll eat whatever comes,
Oh,
but
here we
it's
go.
more
Yeah,
just
here's a revisionist history.
revisionist history.
Just partake in a revolution.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
um,
Wow, I was there.
Anywhere particular you like to get your chips, Jono? Or like you got like a memory associated with hot chips when you're growing up?
Not really.
Okay.
I guess there's that fish and chip shop at North Cronulla area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Normally would go there with mum and dad
Nice.
every once in a while. So I think that's probably
Did they have malt vinegar there?
no.
You bring your own BYO.
I just had regular salt on it.
Oh,
At
okay.
that point.
See, even if you don't have malt vinegar, you have
Get
normal
a
salt,
BYO.
like a
At that-
normal
because
person.
At that point in time, I wasn't cultured of having vinegar on my chips until I went to England.
Yeah.
And you said your mum's influences on that. Why is that? Where's your mum from?
My mum's from England.
Yep.
Born in Chester.
Yeah.
So kind of Liverpool area.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that is close to Liverpool, which is
Yeah.
why we all support Liverpool Football
Yeah.
Club on this panel.
It's a good
Pretty
podcast.
much, yeah.
This is a good podcast. Up the Reds. You'll never walk alone.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? When did your mum and dad meet in England?
Australia.
They met in Australia.
Yeah.
Do you know when they came over from England?
I think I don't know when my mum was young. That's all I know. She was part of the £5 pommies.
Oh, yeah.
Is that like
So you deposit, like you pay
Yeah.
like £5 to come over to Australia.
Yep.
And I think you could choose on the start, like on where you can stay. So I think,
Like where you actually go to?
yeah. So I forgot where it was, but mum decided, like grandparents decided to go to Nowra, effectively, Albion Park area.
Wow, cool.
Is it £5 or £10? Because
£10.
£10 poms.
Sorry,
£10 poms.
Yeah.
So it was a colloquial term used to describe British citizens migrating to Australia and New Zealand after the Second World War.
Yeah.
There you go. So it was after the Second World War.
Yeah.
They charged £10 in processing fees to migrate to Australia. Pretty cheap.
Wow. Wow.
And do you know the reason, the story for why they wanted to come over?
No. Oh, sorry. No, I don't know the story, is what I'm saying, and I would like to hear
I
it.
won't tell.
No, I want to hear it. I was like, I don't want to hear it. Yes, please tell us the story.
It was just cold.
It's just too cold.
Yeah, my grandma hated doing washing in the winter because it was never dry. So we're fed up with this weather.
Is
and
that why people from England are so miserable, because they're always walking around in wet clothes?
Oh, probably. I think there's also other things involved in there as well.
Well, you know, like when like you wash your clothes, but you can't hang them out, and then they get that real rank.
Oh, the mildew.
Oh.
The mildew
that
smell.
smell.
Nah, that's shocking. Nah.
Yeah.
Not even deodorant can cover that smell. You just have to burn the clothes. Oh.
You could just try washing them
No,
again.
No. They're done at that point.
John has got an incinerator. It's like the only leftover incinerator in the world
Yeah.
in the backyard. You know how people used to have incinerators in their
I'm
backyards?
just thinking
I
of the
wish.
Levitical law on mildew, and like
What is that?
Sure.
it's very. You have to get the priest in to come and look at it, and they need to block off the house if there is mildew there.
Yeah.
To wait 7 days, come back, and then it's something about they have to kill a bird and then dip another bird in that's blood. Yeah,
It sounds great.
yeah. It sounds.
How cool is Levitical law?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why Jesus came
Yeah.
after
just
hearing
like-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very glad we have
Jesus.
mold killer and Jesus.
Jesus the mole killer in just one of his many things that he gives us.
Yeah.
That's cool. So it's too cold, and they just came over and like
Yeah.
went to Nowra, as you said. Wow. Okay. Nowra is on the south of New South Wales. If you are not from this area,
That's where it is. Okay. Yeah.
no, I'm not talking to you.
Just talking to them.
Yeah, talking to the audience.
You said fish and chips referencing England. Do you have a memory of, like, you kind of put it together that you got the vinegar thing from when you visited England. Do you have a memory of where that became part of your life?
It's been kind of prominent all growing up.
Mm.
I think, but when it really hit was when I was around year 8. I think it was year 8, year 7.
Mm.
One of those. We went on a holiday to Spain, and then we went to England, and so we got to see relatives.
The motherland.
Yeah, see the relatives that
Yeah.
I've never seen, or the only time I heard about them was on Christmas cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was cool to see, put faces to the names.
Mm.
Now, an important question though: did you check out their washing?
No,
Did you go in summer or winter?
summer.
Oh, so it would have been all right then.
Yeah.
It would have been dry.
Balmy
yeah.
21 degrees.
Oh yeah, no rain.
Hey, you can dry washing in that weather, mate.
The
Yeah,
only
true.
time, I've been to England twice. It only rained once. And I was in York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Surprise.
yeah, my mum always complains. Oh, it's always raining there.
Yeah. Oh, I remember walking out of a Liverpool game at Anfield, and it was so cold and raining that it was like sleet. and it was
it's
just
fun.
it was like, okay, it's not cold enough to be snowing and pleasant. No, it's just the coldest rain I've ever been in my whole life. It was so.
That's why you go to the pub
Oh
afterwards.
yeah, we did. We went to the chippy across the road.
Yeah.
The chippy.
Very good.
Get a scran.
I got a pie.
Or
It's a
Pie.
scran.
food. It's like food, like instead of like so it's a Scouse slang.
Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty much you're gonna hit up food.
There we go. We're all
Yeah.
learning.
Okay. Well, thank you for educating me.
Oh, it's all good.
All right. Educate us again, please, Jono.
Yeah.
How did you become a Christian?
I guess. Despite living in a Christian household, I never really took it up as a child. I really didn't like going to church as being a shy kid. I guess I'm still shy now, but there was also, I think the problem was there was no kids my age, so I couldn't really. There was not many people to talk to, so I just would always hang beside mum and dad. It wasn't until year 9 or 10 when, ironically enough, I was playing football time on a Saturday, and I was versing Grace Point Possums.
Yeah.
And
Possums.
on long and behold, who was the manager was Stu, and my brother was there, and he already knew about, Guy Meir and all that stuff, and yeah, pretty much year 10, I went to Soul Revival across the road.
Yeah. At President Avenue?
Yeah,
you
President
mean?
Avenue.
New President Avenue Community
Yeah.
Church, yep.
But it wasn't until I started listening to Christian rap where I was like, wow, okay, maybe, I am like, it's just, I was listening to a song by Triple A called Robot, where he kind of talks about how everyone's born like a robot, in a sense of, we have control over us. Like, how does he put it? I'm gonna butcher this.
Keep going. I'll look up the lyrics.
It just pretty much explains how we kind of have no purpose in life.
Right. And so we're just like robotic.
We're just
going through
robotic.
life. Yep.
We have like we put our robot clothes on. Yeah, it's just that song kind of hit me, and I was like, oh wow, yeah. I am in kind of chains. Like, what purpose is living for if I'm just serving myself pretty mundanely, I guess. And so after listening, I was just, really struck by that song. I started, just prayed at home, after coming back from school. Yeah, and so.
It's so funny, before you came on to record, you're like, oh, my life's pretty boring. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I haven't heard a story like this is a 52nd episode of Chip Lunch. I haven't heard a story like that, right?
Okay.
And I think that's the thing, is like everyone's story is individual and unique, and that's really, really cool. Because I just looked up the lyrics. It says, "I'm not your robot. I am not a clone. You are not my puppeteer, and I am not a drone. I got a new master, and I follow him alone. I want a good life till I'm gone. It's on." That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So those kind of lyrics were like, I need to make this my own. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Because that's a story that we've had for a number of people that grow up in a Christian family. It's like there's a point where you take it on yourself. You're like, I kind of agree, maybe. Oh, yeah, it's all good. I love my family because they're looking after me and they love me.
Definitely.
But then there's a moment when God reveals to you, and in this case it was through a Christian rap song for yourself, was actually, no, you need to now step up and take this on your own. So how old were you then? Sorry?
10, I would have been 16.
16.
Point, I think.
Yeah, cool. Because for
15,
example, I
16.
became a Christian at 15. It's a good time to become a Christian.
Yeah.
What changed for you after that? After you're now like, Triple E has helped me realise I need to make a mark?
Make a mark. I don't really know. I think the problem as well during that phase, I was going through some stuff as well. So I was trying to live like a Christian, but weren't. I was kind of two worlds.
Yeah, okay.
So, I'd stuff around during the weekdays, and when Saturday comes, put new clothes on. This is my church clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, which was, I don't know, pretty dumb of me, I guess. Like,
It's not dumb.
I wouldn't say it's dumb.
When
It
you
was
say you're
just,
going through stuff, what do you mean?
I hated school.
Okay.
School was,
You just didn't like learning, or you just didn't like the way it was done?
I just didn't like the way it was done.
Yeah.
So I would always be skipping school.
Right.
Like, nearly for like a term, I was probably going every couple of weeks. I wasn't going, to the point where if something happened, they would always call me up to the office, even though I wouldn't be there. I was sick, for instance. Like, if I was sick, I'd get called up. Like,
Oh, you were actually skipping school? They thought.
yeah, because they thought I was skipping school. So, like, example was with my brother's wedding. I had my appendix taken out the week before, and so I missed the whole week before term ended. And when term 4 resumed, first period science, I remember pretty clearly. The runner boy gets called up and it's like, "Oh, is Jonathan here?" And I was like, "Oh crap, what did I do now? I haven't even been here for that long." And they're like, "Yeah, so we had reports that you jigged school on Friday." It's like, "No, I didn't. You have my medical record."
I was going to say, you provide
Yeah,
like
I provided
a sick
my
note or whatever,
that you got from my specialist, and they're like, "Oh, I kind of doubt it," until another teacher was like, "Yeah, I haven't seen him all week." And so after that, I was like, I'm pretty done with school, and then moved schools to Innerborough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which school were you at prior to that?
I was at Engadine.
Right.
Yeah.
So was it more like you're not enjoying school, and then like it's almost like you wanted the teachers to notice that and like help you with that, and then so when you like you end up having your appendix out, they're like, "No, you're still being a bad dude. You're not," and they're like, "Well, you're not going to help me. Then I'm done with this for now." Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I see. Do you think that? So you became a Christian in the middle of that?
Pretty much, yeah. So
That's
it's pretty
really
tough.
interesting. Yeah. But like you were looking for something else that was right. That's fascinating. So you went to Innerborough instead from about year 11?
Yeah, 11, 12.
Okay. And was that a better experience for you?
Yeah, it was the first time I actually loved school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was different? Like, what were you looking for that you'd like Innerborough is like, oh, this is better?
They treated me like an actual person. Like, they cared for me a lot. Like, especially year 12, I was going through massive amounts of depression.
Really?
And trying to figure out life again. I had a pretty much midlife crisis at year 12. I didn't know, because obviously, I'm adopted from Korea. I didn't know where I fit.
Right.
I live in Australia. Am I Australian citizen or am I Korean? That type of, that really clashed in year 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't, and so Greg Crawshaw really helped me out.
Shout out to Greg. Thanks, Greg. Yeah.
Because he was my homeroom teacher in the mornings.
Yeah.
So he really helped me out. Just trying to figure out stuff, like have mechanisms to, like, if you're feeling crap, you can still let teacher have a little break. So it's just that really caring environment, which I really loved.
Whereas at Engadine, then we don't want to trash the school, I suppose, but you were perhaps experiencing that kind of things to a degree, but you didn't have anyone to help you through that, whereas with Greg, was really able to help you with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's cool.
It's sort of like how with unis, I don't know, I've never been to uni.
That's right.
How they kind of, they treat you like a number rather than an actual student. That's how I kind of felt at Engadine.
And then just grappling with the things that you're talking about, like being adopted and you're born in Korea, right? And then you're coming here being adopted as well and all that stuff. Like that's like, it's understandable why you were like experiencing a fair bit of turmoil to begin with. Yeah. Did you have a question then? Sorry, not a joke. I was going to say, do you have a joke related to that? Sorry, Jono. Wow. Do you have a joke, Brandon? You want to give Jono a hard time about? Jeez, sorry, man.
I don't really care.
But that's really cool that you like feel willing to share that. Do you mind telling us more about that? So, what age were you adopted?
That's a good question. I came to Australia in 1990, so I was born 98 November, so it was like sort of
Hang on.
mid.
Wait.
You said you came to Australia in 1990, but you were born in 1998?
I said 99.9.
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought you said 1990. I was like,
No, 99.9.
Sorry.
yeah,
Keep going, keep going.
yeah.
I think, I don't know when, somewhere mid 1999s.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you're one-ish?
Oh,
Yeah, around.
Ish.
yeah.
We'll go with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, cool. And so, it's difficult. I mean, I can't speak for myself, but I'm assuming it would be difficult to know that you're growing up, knowing that you're perhaps different to everyone else of how they've grown up.
Mm.
Were there kind of instances where you can remember that you're like, hang on, this feels different to, or I feel like not out of place? I do feel out of place? Because the only reason I asked you that question is that I feel like that's what you were saying, like that was one of the things you were grappling with.
I think, even though like my parents did an amazing job to like raise me as pretty much like, you know, their own son.
Well, you are.
Yeah. But I think I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that I was different from everyone else.
Mm.
So I think I always.
It's just like, you're not even meaning to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of subliminal message that kind of goes in the back of my brain. I'm like, oh, yeah, I do look different to mum and dad and brother, you know.
Mm.
And so, yeah.
Like you were talking about how Greg helped you with stuff. How did he help you with that?
Oh, he didn't help me necessarily. No, he just helped me in like the phase of like just going like how to combat depression.
Yeah.
Really, but who really kind of helped me was Matt Redmond.
Oh, really?
He really helped me out in 2017.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because I was doing year 13 at the time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then my biggest question was about identity. And so he was really...
Understandably.
He was understandable where I was coming from. And so...
What about, like, you talking about grappling with identity, feeling out of place and stuff like that? What do you think that, like, what impact has God had on your thinking around that, and how Matt helped you understand that?
He helped me out by saying, like, well, it is an essence of you. It's actually it was more to do with I'm actually adopted by God, and that should be the key identity rather than finding, oh, am I Australian, am I Korean? It was more like, oh no, my identity is in God.
Yeah.
And so that one was like, yes, that is correct.
Because we're all adopted,
Yes.
right, into God's family.
Mm.
And we're all unified under Christ.
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, that's mad. So, should we go back to Innerborough though? You finished school, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Barely. But
but you did.
Yeah.
You said you didn't go to uni, but you did do year 13.
Yes.
What was the thinking behind doing year 13? Year 13 is a course or a year at YouthWorks where they help you figure out if you want to do ministry, right? Is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah.
Ministry gap year.
Yeah.
It's a ministry gap
yeah.
year. Okay.
So.
Because the way that I was feeling, I think I wanted to rebuild my faith
Okay.
a bit more, like, because obviously going through that turbulent time, and so I was just there, just what it is like to be a Christian, really, like in a secular society, rather than at school, like.
Well, because you're in a secular situation then.
Situation.
Not I suppose not at
Yeah.
Innerborough because it's a Christian school.
Christian school, yeah.
But yeah, I suppose in like you became a Christian while you were at a secular school.
Yeah.
Then you went into a Christian school, and now you're like thinking, well, maybe I need to. You just wanted to delve into the Bible more.
Yeah, just
And then because you've gone through the identity stuff, you wanted to keep looking into that rather than not keeping getting more involved in it.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Yeah.
What did you learn about like from year 13? What was what is the real thing that you really remember doing, or you remember like really impacted you?
I can't actually really remember that much. Like, it's kind of a blur, really.
Right.
But it was good?
Oh, it's all right. I had its up and downs
Okay.
for personal reasons I won't go into.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I did some dumb things during those period of time.
Was it like harking back to the old days a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I did something kind of dangerous, I guess. I didn't tell the director of Year 13 at the time
Okay.
until the next week, and then he had a pretty stern warning with me. It's like, maybe you should tell someone about it.
Okay.
Same with the Fiji trip. He witnessed me throwing some skimming toads across the pool. This was the last week coming back. We got a bit bored, and so there was a lot of cane toads there, and so we're just skimming rather than pebbles. And then and the director of Year 13, he wanted to talk to someone else, and I was in his room, and he was like, "Oh yeah, is Jono in this room?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm here." It's like, "Oh, but did the frog survive?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure it did."
I was putting it back in its natural habitat.
Yeah, in a chlorine pool. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Were you really skimming it across a pool?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in your hotel or whatever? Or were you staying?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was great.
Just you?
Oh, a couple of other mates,
Yeah,
but I kind of started it.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Did you start with pebbles?
No,
Or you just
there's
like
frogs. No.
Start with the frogs.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
you said
the
cane toads.
work-
That's
yeah.
gonna take it. Yeah,
It's cane
work your way
toads.
down.
They're fine.
Okay. Cool. So,
Sorry, bit of a
Right.
tangent.
jeez.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really remember.
So this is okay.
From Year 13.
But you're now at college, right?
Oh yeah.
How did they let you back in at YouthWorks College if you were skimming cane toads and?
I don't know.
Okay. Were you testing them? You're like, I want to come back. Are you going to let me come back even if I do this?
Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't even know if I was going to go back to YouthWorks. Actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because after that, I decided to dabble in some nursing because I thought I might enjoy it.
Just like with like people you found on the street. Just
Yeah.
Would you allow me to nurse you?
Yeah.
Sorry, you were thinking about doing nursing.
Yeah,
you said.
nursing. Yeah, because my mum was a nurse. She was
Okay.
a diabetes educator
Mm-hmm.
for multiple years,
Yeah, right.
and so I thought, maybe
So you started that at uni?
TAFE.
TAFE. Okay.
Yeah, so Ultimo TAFE. Didn't like it one bit.
You seem to have a bit of a problem with educational institutions. Would you
I just don't like them that much. I just don't think I fit in that box, really.
that
Yeah.
kind of rote learning,
Yeah.
read from the textbook, and
I'm more hands-on, practical
Yeah.
situation.
need to be a mechanic or something.
I mean, then the year after, I tried to do architecture. Didn't like it because it was online,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was kind of during COVID as well, and so
Yeah.
it was a bit tough. And and then so I was like, Renee, who was working at that time at YouthWorks,
Yeah, Renee's your sister-in-law.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
she was administrator. She was like, you can do one more subject to do your undergraduate of theology. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I did it last year,
Yeah.
finished it. And then I was like, maybe I should do an advanced diploma of theology as well while I'm here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So how many years is that?
It should be a year and a half, but it'll be 2 years. Because of Year 13.
Oh, I thought you were
Because
going back to the cane toads.
No,
It's a punishment.
because with Year 13 at that time, it was a diploma of
Yep.
Christian studies.
Yep.
And so you could use some of those subjects for points. So that's hence why I only had to do one subject for my undergrad.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And you finish that soon then?
I finished my undergrad last year,
Oh, sorry. Yep.
and then I should hopefully finish my advanced diploma of theology of next year, semester 2.
Right. And you're happy with your decision to keep going with the advanced diploma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been great.
Really?
Yeah, I've loved
Oh,
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think is like you've really learnt during that time that you probably didn't realise prior to that?
Like in what way? Sorry.
Well, it's just more like, well, you're talking about, are you glad you studied the Bible? How's that changed you in terms of like really studying the Bible that in depth?
Like how, I guess, yeah, so how it applies to life, like ministry settings, like how do you cater for people who might be struggling with their own things?
Yep.
So you just kind of help them out, just care for them. Like,
I was going to say that's something
Yeah.
like you can identify with a
Yeah.
little bit, because what you're talking about when you went to Innerborough, is that like a passion that you have for other people now that you're doing ministry here at church and even outside of church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. Hopefully the end goal would be going to more college,
Right.
and then hopefully becoming an army chaplain.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are you keen to look into the army?
I've always had an interest in the army as a
Yep.
child.
Yeah.
And still growing, like even as a teenager. And I think, those guys really need Jesus in their life. Like they're going through some pretty traumatic experiences. They need a really good mate. It's going to be there to support them, but in the end, they really need Jesus for comfort.
Yeah, right.
And so I think being an army chaplain, just help them out.
Did you ever consider going into the army, like when you finished school or anything like that?
Yes and no. My dad didn't mind. My mum was like, "No, you're not going. Like you're not going to join." So,
That's not allowed.
Yeah, so I kind of listened to mum on that one.
Well, I find that super encouraging because, my reflection, I've known Jono for a long time, and my reflection on you, brother, is like you're always so, like I find you a very dependable and loyal friend, and like you're always, I feel like if I need something done or if I have a conversation with Jono, then it's going to happen, and you're just always willing to jump in, like, oh, Jono, I need some help with this. You're there, which I think is just, it's super encouraging. And I think, being able to help people out in that way, I think it's exciting to me because I've seen how loyal you are to your friends. And I think that's something.
I love that.
It's great to share, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you said, as you said, you're like, I more practical, like doing things. And I'm like, I absolutely see that in your life. Like even at times where you weren't necessarily where you were younger and you're saying you're a bit, I'll put my church clothes on the weekend, or wasn't that sure with this or that. Like I always knew that you were reliable to get stuck in and do things. And I think, that's something I've always appreciated from you.
I think that'd really work well in the army too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, in some certain situations, it's life and death, and you have to make the right decisions and be there for other people. So, and that's obviously why you like team sport too, I reckon.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, that's sick. Tell us about because you're studying at college, awesome, but you're also in a lot of leadership capacity too here at Soul Revival. Tell us what you're doing there, because you've just added another, another job to the resume of what you're doing, because you're leading at Fuse as well now, right?
Yeah.
But you're also a youth leader?
I was a youth leader.
And then you're going to go to Fuse, is that right?
No, I was just...
So I'm just stuffing this up.
No, you're fine. I don't know, a couple months ago or something like that, I was always here on a Friday because I'm doing Berea internship.
You are doing Berea, yep.
And so I'd sometimes look over at the Fuse and see that they might need an extra leader. So I'd start helping out Tim for a bit, and then I decided to ask Tim, I was like, oh, hey, do you need another male leader? And so,
Do you spot that need at Fuse? Is that one of the reasons you were thinking that? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Kind of short-handed, especially when Darville twins aren't here as well. So it's just Tim on his own.
Yep.
Like, as a male leader, it's sort of.
You think God really led you to actually push for that and be keen to do it? Yeah.
Because I would never have asked. I would never say, "Hey Tim, would you like a hand?" Like I'm happy to help out every week.
If people aren't listening, Fuse is our year 5 and 6 group, which happens on a Friday night prior to the Friday night gathering. So you stay for the Friday night gathering as well, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on how I feel. Like,
Whether you like the dinner or not.
Well, we might need. I might need Jono to help with dinner tonight. We'll see.
okay. Yeah, I'm happy to help on that one. Yeah. That's
See,
easy.
that's the thing.
Scabbed
You
him
can-
on.
That's the thing.
It's
You
easy.
call him
Well, I
up,
know,
and he's
well,
always turning.
no,
He's
that's
always
fine.
there for you.
That's the thing. Like,
happy to do it.
I love Pete. I love that's why I cherish being friends with Jono so much. Is I know that if I need anything, he's there, and if he needs anything, I'm there. It's nice to have someone who has your back, but also has your best interests in the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And like that's what you did for Tim. You saw that there was a need, and you're willing to jump in.
Stepped up.
Yeah,
Stepped
absolutely.
up too, which is. And I'm thinking like what you've kind of told us about in your life so far. Like, it's a real like contrast to what you may have been doing when you were originally at school. Like you didn't feel like stepping up. You're like, no one's maybe even caring about me, and no one's giving me the opportunity to do something like that. So I feel like that's a real, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's a real difference that God's made in your life, is that helping you understand your identity and where you're belonging, and then being able to, that allows you to step up and go, I can help other people to do that. And yeah, so I really having you say that makes me think, like, and observe that, especially what Braden's saying. Like if you're super reliable, like people are going to notice that. Like with especially the crew that you're leading, if you're reliable, like they're like, I want to know why is Jono so reliable? Why is he like always ready to be
Why
here?
does Jono care?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because of Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's really, really cool about it. So where do you see, so if you see yourself going to the army, what have you, I'm just guessing you've probably looked into that. What does that look like if you obviously study at Moore College too, so that'll be a few years of study, right?
Yeah.
What do you think that entails getting into the army? Because I wouldn't know anything about that.
So to get to army chap,
You're just an armoured chap.
just
Sorry.
army chap, yeah. So you still have to go through your basics, and then you just have to
Basic training.
Yeah, basic training, and then you just have to do a chaplaincy course, I believe.
And you're looking to get like posted somewhere,
Yeah,
wherever Australian troops are.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
be fun.
Have you travelled much before besides going to England and things like that?
Yeah, I've been pretty spoilt to go overseas, I'd say.
Well, you said you went to Spain.
Yeah, I've been to Spain, England twice, been to Scotland, been to Germany,
Nice.
I've been to Fiji, obviously, New Zealand.
Are you going back to Fiji?
I wouldn't mind going back.
Okay.
You know, if I didn't have commitments and and financial problems, I would have gone today.
I think that's most people's
Yeah.
travel barriers.
I would have.
If only I had unlimited money and time.
I would have definitely gone today, as there was a Rugby World Cup sevens last week,
Right.
and Fiji men's did win, and so they were doing a massive celebration today.
So you would have been there if you could
So I
have
would have loved to be there.
Yeah, that would have been a party.
been. In a drawer?
No, with my Fiji bucket hat, this shirt and my Sulu. Yeah,
What's a Sulu?
So it's like a garment. It's like a dress, pretty much. That
what's a sarong?
yeah,
Is it
it's
kinda
pretty
like
much a
that?
sarong. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've got a couple of those.
Can't go wrong with a sarong.
Yeah, have to wear safe shorts though, obviously.
Yeah, that's what Braden's wearing right now. If you can't see that, he's got a sarong on.
Yeah.
You're gonna ask the question. Sorry.
Well, now I've forgotten.
Oh, jeez. Okay,
I can't actually remember.
that's all right. What about, this is like a question that we like to ask everyone, is you've done a lot of study now. You're planning to be a chaplain. Because how old are you now? Sorry.
23.
23. You're still pretty young.
23, 24. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with 23. Then you seem more youthful. So you still got like a long way to go, obviously.
I hope.
Yeah, we hope. So we'll see how that goes. What I forgot my question now. I was more going to say, like, you've got a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
What do you think, like, you're only 23, you became a Christian around 15, 16, like we said. What do you think you wish you knew when you were a younger Christian compared to what you know now?
I don't think I would really say anything.
Really?
No, I think this. maybe just say, trust in the Lord. I think that would be the only thing I'd really say.
Yeah.
Because that seems to have really helped you by trusting the Lord. Because even like, it sounds like you've had some pretty difficult times, especially, you know, trying to grapple with your identity and stuff. That if you, I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to make it look like I understand what you had to deal with, because I haven't. But
I don't mind.
No, but I just wanted to I want to be honest and fair to you to say that I have not experienced what you've experienced. But I think it's really, really cool that I get to learn from you because of that. And I think you were talking about how, like, the identity thing of we're all adopted. That's the point, right? Is that so I can learn from you. I don't have the same experience as you, but I can learn from you because we are united under Christ. And I think that's what's really special, I think, Jono. Where am I going with that, though? that's my next question. This is the thing when you're doing a podcast, you try and say something like really get into the conversation, but you still need to be thinking of what the next question is.
Just let the Holy Spirit guide you.
Well, yeah, I think it sounds like you've gone through a journey, and like I've had the same kind of thing in terms of just like not really planning where I was going to end up. I didn't think I would ever end up as a pastor, and yet I'm here. And like you went through I remember you saying like, oh, I want to do nursing, I want to do this, and you've been through that journey as well. And you just, I think going back and saying trust in God, trust in the Lord, it's so important, because you don't know where you're going to end up. And you can make all the plans you want, but it's God's plan that's going to happen. And you just got to trust that his plan is going to work out.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of another question to ask. What were you going to say?
I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, I thought you were.
My other thing is Jono comes up and cleans the church every Thursday.
Again, reliable,
Pete,
right?
Which is, like, I find, I just think you do a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes, and I appreciate that a lot.
Not so obvious.
Well, and like that's exactly what we're called to be. Like, there are certain people who will be up the front more naturally, but that's not more important in terms of a church and loving each other and doing things behind the scenes. Like,
one body.
Exactly. And so Bev and Pete and Jono and his parents, so some of the older members of our congregation come up and clean the church every Thursday.
Every Thursday at 10
and
o'clock.
The vans.
Yeah, vans are there.
Yeah.
So
and
anyone's free.
If anyone's free on a Thursday at 10 o'clock and want to come up and help clean, first of all, that's
mostly
a plug.
just talk.
Yeah,
actually,
just
like,
hang out.
Serious, like, we just hang out. Like,
every time I popped in, it is a fun time.
Yeah, we do our, you clean and then you have a little break and we just talk and do some more cleaning, and then, we sometimes don't leave church until like 12.
Yeah.
And we start at 10.
Yeah, it's so encouraging, because like we are family. Ultimately, we're a family. Yeah. And we're unified in Christ. But I am very encouraged by the servant-heartedness of you, and also that being modeled by your parents is super encouraging as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What I've really enjoyed doing on this podcast is, I think I know the title of the episode, We Are Family. And that's what I think, hopefully that you've helped me realise, Jono, and helped other people realise that are listening, is that we are all one family, and doesn't matter as long as we're united under Christ, which is what we are. When we call him to be on him to be our saviour, and know that we'll all be united together without sin in heaven at some point. So I really appreciate your honesty and like your willingness to talk about the stuff that you'll find it pretty difficult, like things like your identity and depression and things like that. So thanks heaps for sharing.
It's all good.
Any other final thoughts, Braden?
I think I've just really appreciated the different ways that God's reached out to you in your life. Like, I think it's just, it was cool to hear about listening to, was it Triple E or El Shaddai? Triple E?
Triple E.
The Triple E song, Greg Crawshaw, through like a homeroom, so like through music, through a homeroom teacher at school, through Matt Redmond. Like,
God's really holding on to you.
Yeah, really. Exactly. And I find that really encouraging. Yeah, just the different ways that, he's reached out to you in those times through other people. And we're doing Ephesians as a church at the moment. So walk this way is kind of the title of what we've been looking at. And as we see all through Ephesians, we're now united with each other and able to not just be united with Christ in heaven, but we're united with each other and with Christ now. And that can really dictate and shape the way that we live our lives and the way that we walk our Christian walk, but walk our Christian walk together. I think, it's super encouraging. Jono, thanks for chatting.
Yeah, all good. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem at all. Shall we wrap the chips?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make some space.
It's lunchtime. We'll go get some chips.
Get some green tea. All right, we'll finish with a one-way. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you are keen to be on the podcast and you haven't been, you go to Sorrow Old Church. We'd love to have you on and to hear your story, just like we've heard Jono's story. So thanks very much. Finish with one way. One way.